Hi everyone, welcome to Deanne's POV podcast. My name is Deanne and I'm so glad to have you guys here with me today. So let's get into the episode. So for this episode, I wanted to talk about what makes people universally happy. And I know it sounds mad cheesy, but I feel like everybody just wants to be happier and healthier and live the life that they're meant to live. And this is like something that I've been interested in for a couple of years now. Um, and I've been like just paying attention and being more aware of what makes me happy. Um, and like just things that are more universal in general, like what makes people happy. Um, and as we know, life is complicated. There's some good times, there's some bad times, and a lot of the times we learn something from it. So, one of the biggest lessons is learning to let things go and go with the flow. Because the more you try to like control every little detail, and like think about every possible outcome, you're literally just gonna lose your mind. So I used to be a little bit more controlling with a lot of things. It's like my way or the highway. I like things done a certain way. And when it didn't turn out that way, it would make me very, very frustrated and it will like ruin my day. So I like realized eventually that the outcome of every situation is beyond my control. There's certain things that I do have control over, and there's some precautions I can take to avoid certain things. However, at the end of the day, whatever happens at the end is out of my control. And that's something I had to learn the hard way. And I like realize a lot of the times when I get extremely frustrated, it ruins my day. And if I like get pissed off at something, it literally just ruins my day. Nobody else is bothered here other than myself. And it's for like something that's so minuscule. And it's like, it doesn't really matter. And it's like, it was meant to happen that way anyway. So it's like, you really have no control of how things are going to turn out. And I feel like another big thing that kind of like stems from this is try to reduce the amount of expectations that you have, because the more expectations you have, the more restricted you're going to feel, and you're just going to like put yourself in a box, and anything outside of the box is negative in a way. So the less expectations you have in life, the more free you're going to feel. And there's a saying that's like, expectations are the thief of joy. So it's like, why even put yourself in a situation or a mental situation where this outcome, or put yourself in a situation where literally the joy of what you're doing is going to be like taken away from you. You know what I mean? One big example of all of this together is forgiveness. And this is something I also had to learn the hard way. Forgiveness is a lot easier said than done. And sometimes it also like depends on what happened in the situation or anything like that. People hold grudges, feelings are always getting hurt, whatever. But at the end of the day, if you don't forgive the person, it's going to be at the back of your mind. And you're going to experience those hurt feelings over and over and over again. I'm not saying forgive and forget. I don't really believe in that saying, because forgiving the person is not for them, it's more for you. It's to bring you peace and kind of just get over the emotional part of it. Forgetting is the part that I'm a little more iffy about, because try to learn from what happened. Like, you can forgive somebody, but you don't have to forget about the situation, because there is a lesson there for you to learn, and it's just a part of life at that point. So the whole point of the forgiveness part is to release all the negative emotions that have a death grip on you. And you can just change the perspective. So I like to think of all my bad situations like something, or things that weren't ideal at the time, as something that I had to learn from. And it's like, okay, so it happened. This is what I learned from it. This is my takeaway. Move on. Like, I try to strip it from the emotional death grip that it has on you, because that is what really affects you a lot more. And it also allows you to move forward and be in more of a peaceful vibe. So lose majority of expectations. Try to have little to no expectation about any outcome in life. Try new things. And also forgive, but don't forget. And also practice letting things go. Those are very, very essential in finding peace in your day-to-day life. So next thing, be in touch with reality. Okay, so humans in general, we are very, very social beings. We like to have a sense of community and meaningful connections with others, but I feel like now with technology, I'm not saying technology is a bad thing. Technology is great. You get to connect with people in a bigger scale. You get to connect with people on a different level, but it's also very, very important to be very present and mindful in your life. And I feel like people are just a little bit more detached in general. Because whenever I'm just out in public, everybody has headphones on, everybody's completely zoned out in their own little world. And honestly, I'm guilty of it too. During college, there's times where I was wearing headphones all the time, just in my own world, just vibing, which is great sometimes, but it's also good to have those interactions, be present in where you are, and interact with your surroundings in general. One thing for me is face-to-face interactions are so much better than virtual connections, just because it's more the whole situation is on more of an intimate level, and those real conversations and experiences deepens your relationship. And just those online connections, just they just can't match that same energy that you have when you're sitting down with someone and having a conversation, laughing. It just doesn't hit as hard. So just be more present in the environments that you're in. Meet people more face to face. There's something that I kind of been putting into practice, is if I can't meet with somebody in person, I give them a phone call. If I can't give them a phone call, I like to send voice messages, just because it's way more intimate than just shooting a quick text message. And sometimes I'm very blunt when it comes to texting. I will send just what I need to say out there. I feel people never really get the tone that I'm saying it in. People read into it a lot more, and it's are you mad? And I'm no, I'm not mad. It's just less intimate in that sense. yeah. Another thing is, this is kind of just like, I feel like this kind of stems from being in touch with reality and is practicing random acts of kindness. And this like significantly boosts your own happiness. Like it doesn't have to be something so crazy, extravagant. It could literally just be like smiling at a stranger, saying hello, um, stuff like that. And it has like a rippling effect of positivity at that point. Um, and the small acts of kindness will bring up your mood. It will like boost serotonin in your brain, and it's like it will have a physical effect on you, and it will change your whole vibe. Um, so just like try to cultivate deeper and deeper relationships with people, practice random acts of kindness, and yeah, just have like more meaningful experiences and be more present. Um, so this next one that I wanted to mention, I will definitely be talking about this further in another episode and just talk about more about the mechanics behind it all. But it's eat food that show you how much you love yourself. I know this one's like a little bit harder to practice, so depending on where you are in your health journey, but food plays such a large role in how you feel. So if you eat bad food, you'll get like a quick dopamine hit, and then later you feel bloated and like sluggish, um, and you'll somewhat regret it. Like I'm not saying you have to be a complete health nut, but just like choosing the right meals for you. And this is all due to the bacteria that live in your gut. And there's so many like studies coming out about this now, and it's like a really heavy focus, which is super exciting because, um, at least for me, it's super exciting because I really do care about that brain gut axis and learning more about the relationship between the bacteria in our gut and how it affects our brain chemistry. Um, so I'll get more into that in another episode. So, main takeaway from that is a healthy gut is a healthy and happy mind. Um, so, last but not least, be grounded and connect with nature. I feel like we all fall victim into this because our lives get so busy and we're just like working constantly, and we're kind of like in that like work time in our lives because that's a lot of like early 20s 30s, and we're all like trying to achieve our goals, and our lives get a little crazy, and we're constantly like rushing, and we spend a lot of time indoors. um and there's like this weird ideology too, like I've read a lot about this, and it's like this theory where people, or like humans in general, are kind of like creating this barrier between humans and nature, but in reality we are a part of nature. So personally, I do spend a lot of time outdoors. Like if I'm not working or if I get a break, I like to spend it outside and just like kind of disconnect from my go mentality. Um and like recently I picked up hiking, and it was one of the greatest things ever. Like I absolutely loved it. It's kind of like a way for me to like disconnect from society and reconnect with the world, um, or nature, whichever you want to use. And it really just like calms you down. And like if you ever need to take a breather, go get some fresh air. Like step outside and really just take it in and de-stress. And there's probably a lot of like papers and science about this, but it really just allows you to just hit that reset button, and it really changes your whole vibe, and you feel so much better and happier after you spend time outside. Okay, so that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this episode because I really did. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.